How's it going, people? My name is Shadow and we are here again in Starfield. In the last episode we ended up finishing up the quest delivering devils, where we had to go to Mars and find Percival for Hadrian so we can get this Terramorph gene sample researched to see where it came from. Then we ended up having to come all the way back here to New Atlantis up to Mast to speak with the cabinet. And whilst we were doing that, we ended up having a Terramorph attack, which ended up leading into the quest Eyewitness. So we ended up finishing up that. And now we have a quest to do with friends like these. Now, in between episodes, I ended up just going around selling everything. And I ended up speaking to Andresia. I completely forgot that she had a speech event happening. Pretty much she just gave us a little bit of extra background that she used to be a smuggler and everything. And then it popped up with a flirt option, and I ended up going along with the flirt option because this one is character we're going to be romancing, because I'm not doing Sarah Morgan because she's a bit too easy, for lack of a better word. But anyway, let's get on with doing the quest with friends like these.
Chief Yassine, these orders, a Vanguard captain. You... Yes, sir. I'll make sure they get what they require.
Deputy?
That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the Terramorph data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
Is where the collective stashed all our best weapon technologies after the colony war.
It was a mutual agreement, but I suppose you touch on the spirit of it. So, you also know then that it was originally managed by the 3 major galactic players. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 armistice signatories: UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun.
Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people, the ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Varun, to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said than done.
You think they'd be clamoring to help after the spaceport attack?
I couldn't agree more. However, both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate.
And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative.
But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar, or Ambassador Balmore of House Varun?
Tell me about Ambassador Radcliffe of the Freestar Collective.
The good Ambassador Radcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable.
It sounds as though I will enjoy this.
Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her.
Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support.
And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'm gonna make sure I get that. Alright. Tell me about these other tools then.
Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just need to find the squeeze.
UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage.
But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell.
So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen.
Now, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you.
That's all the info I need for the moment on Ambassador Radcliffe.
All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up, you're on your way. Not likely to let you through the door otherwise.
And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to proceed in there.
Well, we definitely won't be taking the stealth option because the stealth system in this game is still broken. Hopefully, Bethesda will have a fix coming out soon. Tell me about Ambassador Balmore of House of Varun.
Ambassador Balmore's a challenge.
When the rest of House Varun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, Balmore stayed here.
He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, so there's real hope he might again. Though claiming to know how a member of House Varun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval.
Yeah, that sounds pretty promising.
It does, but there's a concern. We're not 100% sure Balmore is actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare, but it's been several years now since he last poked his head out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting.
Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice.
Don't worry, I'll track him down.
I have no doubt. Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to be up to you. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated security in there.
Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, don't hesitate to ask. I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her and her staff's mind. Be smart out there, Captain.
Oh, don't worry, I shall be. Come on, Androsia. Alright, let's head on over all the way over to the 3-star embassy. Right. At this point, I am going to make sure I do a quick save because I need to make sure that I pass this
Visitors are
speech.
only allowed in the lobby, offices.
I wonder how many times one side or the other has threatened to close this embassy down over the years.
I wonder that as well.
Terramors, as in more than one? All that security and they still can't protect their own spaceport. The UC never fails to disappoint. I just wish I hadn't received the news from an SSNN broadcast. We have a strategic advantage to maintain, Mr. Long.
Of course, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Excuse me. Are you supposed to be in here?
I don't know. Let me take one of these if I have one. Thank God for that.
Sorry.
Now let's have a talk.
Everyone's a little on edge after the attack.
I'm sorry. Do you have an appointment?
I'm here on behalf of the United Colonies. We need the 3-star Collective's help.
Ah, you're the one McIntyre called about. The eyewitness. She said you were at the spaceport. You have my thanks for what you did down there, truly. Saved many lives. Now, she also mentioned that, and maybe it was just a bad connection, that now the UC wants terramorph data from the Armistice archives, some of the most highly guarded information in the galaxy, in order to protect us all. I can only presume you're here to tell me I misheard her and that they didn't send you, local hero, to futilely beg on their behalf. Tell me I've got that right.
You heard correctly. We need access to the archives.
I was afraid of that. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. That information is there because it is dangerous. I will not be the one responsible for its release. Now, why don't you quit wasting my time and yours, and go?
Nah, I ain't leaving. Please, Ambassador, just listen to what I have to say.
You're really gonna push this? All right, I will give you one chance. One to convince me. Understood.
Thank you, Ambassador. Just hear me out.
I'm listening.
So your response to a possible crisis is inaction. Great plan.
Inaction
Fuck's sake.
sometimes is the only sound choice one can make.
There are lives at stake here.
And those lives are in my hands.
She got the whole lives in her hand. No. There was an attack on your doorstep and you're going to do what? Nothing?
A fair point. How would it look if the collective simply sat by while more attacks came to pass?
How many lives are you willing to risk here because you have a grudge against the UC?
It's possible I might be letting my history cloud my judgment. Possibly. Well, Captain, you make some good points.
Of course I do.
But if I'm really granting you access, I'm gonna need the following concessions. Your access will be limited. You can only take out the items related to stopping these terramorphs. The monitors will make sure of it. You go in once, you get everything you need on your trip, and never again. And all research done with the data will be monitored. If this data is being used to save the galaxy needs to be involved in the oversight. Freestar scientists will watch your people like hawks. So, do we have an agreement?
Don't really like the sound of it, but I've got no choice, so agreed.
Excellent. Follow me. They tell me it should only take a moment. And there. Here, I'll reach out to Deputy McIntyre. We'll coordinate the necessary oversights. Two unlikely allies, I guess.
Thank you. Bye, bitch. Now, off to House Varun Embassy. This one is a hell of a lot easier than her. Depending on whether or not you actually find the combat in this game easy. All you have to do is just go save the cunt. That's all you have to do. Whereas her, you got to either convince her to give you the things, or you have to sneak into her room to access that fucking recording. And like I've said before, the stealth system in this is pretty fucked. And Drazer, I'm quite surprised you don't comment us being in here.
This is certainly different than anything else in New Atlantis.
Get this unlocked. Activate the turrets and make sure they... No, don't remove the combat inhibitors. Have them protect me. Thank you. Not like it's going to be any bloody use.
Decades unsupervised. And it seems this crew has decided it now owns this place.
Now, I know that there is a skill book around here somewhere.
Once again, we are triumphant.
Yeah, where are you? Right. Come on, Drazer, be a wolf. They dead? Yeah. I'll take it for money. What is the book? Ah, there it is. Going to increase the sneak bonus by an additional 1% and melee sneak attack damage by additional 5. Don't know how many of them I've got now. I think I must have about 2, maybe?
Best not to leave anything useful behind.
Yeah. Place is really weird. Ooh, credits. Forgot about you. I just tried to punch a robot. That was smart. There's everyone else. Now, if you don't know that turret is there, you get absolutely shredded by that thing. Along with that one. What is going on? We got him? Nice. Get into here. I could have sworn there was a key there somewhere, but do that, open the door, said open the door. Another computer there you can hack for some XP if you so wish, and yeah, nothing in here. Yeah, where are they? Stop trying to punch a robot. Where's the other?
Yes, you need me?
No, I don't need you. Not yet, anyway. Over here, grab a few items. And all the way around this way to speak to...
So,
Balmont.
what seems punishment becomes providence. A reminder we can never truly know the Great Serpent's designs for us. You have my thanks, and my apologies for the ordeal you just endured. Come, let us discuss. Not the ideal introduction, I suppose, giving you a grand tour of the embassy via barely functioning intercoms. I do greatly appreciate your persistence. I suspect the Venom tree upstairs has worked itself into more systems than I'd realized. But then again, who could cage such a beauty? Tell me though, what is it like outside? I heard the broadcast mentioning an attack. Then the embassy was struck with a power surge and then... silence. Has the rest of the city suffered quite so badly?
Not really. Spaceport's in a rough shape, but not much else was damaged.
Is that right, huh? I shall need to have these repairs seen to sooner rather than later. Now, it cannot solely be the Serpent's grace that brought you here at such an opportune moment. You were sent by the UC. That much is obvious. Who else could just waltz through my door, hmm? And the broadcast spoke of terror morphs at the spaceport. A worrying occurrence, certainly, but coming here of all places, when all I could provide is some enthused cheerleading and... an archive code. So the UC requires information, then. On terror morphs, presumably, hmm? Do I see this all clearly?
Correct. We're going to use the data in the archives to better understand and stop these attacks.
The preservation of life stands as the very purpose of the archives. Using its data to prevent more attacks, there is logic there. But if I am to grant you access, I have a requirement. For years, House Varun has been known only as an agent of slaughter. We founded this embassy with hopes of shedding that legacy, with little success. In exchange for my code, I require this. You must be the one who ensures it is used for good. Ensure House Varun's legacy is more than just carnage. The knowledge you ask for isn't evil. No knowledge is. It is we who bend it to evil ends. Oh, you must assure me this will be used to save lives, not endanger them.
Not worry, you have my word. I'll make sure it's used for good.
You have mine as well, for what that is worth.
Well then, I shall not fear. Please, follow me.
Yep, I shall follow you and I shall loot everything I can. Ooh.
Let's hope it still works.
Take that key. And open that. Can I take that credit stick? Nope. I can take that and
Let
that.
it be used for good.
And I think that's all you're going to let me take. Right, you just gave me what I needed and everything else in here is not worth taking. Come over into the storeroom. And then there is going to be a load of useful resources. I'm gonna grab all of these and I shall meet you back over at Mast. Deputy!
Captain, you're back sooner than... Oh, wait. Did you actually succeed? With Radcliffe? And Balmore? We're all in agreement.
Well, to be fairly honest, you actually sound like you expected me not to be able to do it. But code pieces from House Varun and the 3-star collected and ready to be deployed.
So the old man was still lurking around in there. Fine work, Captain. And now, I've already arranged everything with the archival monitors. When you get down there, the UC monitor will give you instructions on how to deploy the codes. Follow them to the letter. Here, the UC code piece and an archival access card. The entrance is just on the other side of the plaza across from Mast. Absolute best behavior down there, all right?
Yep, thank you. And to be fairly honest, you could have just met me in front of the building. Now I've got to run all the way bloody back and back here again. Thank you, Bethesda. There we go, Armistice Archives. Let's get down and grab the Terramorph data we are looking for, shall we?
Navy's defeat at the Battle of Cheyenne by the 3-star collection.
Captain, we've been expecting you.
Have
Please
you?
approach the monitoring station and we will go over the rules. Welcome, Captain, to the archives. To proceed, you will need to deposit your codes into the 3 corresponding receptacles. Once they are verified, I will open the door. Your data resides in Unit 18. You will not be able to access any of the other units. Once you've collected your data, return to the entrance. You may insert the first of the archival codes when you're ready to begin. All codes verified. Unlock it. You may proceed, Captain.
Grab that. And now let's get back.
There you
I
are.
got it.
Captain,
Major.
Deputy told me what went down. Impressive work.
Captain, if you'd be willing to transfer the documents to the Major, she and I have been discussing what comes next.
Time for us to start getting some real answers and figure out if we've been asking the right questions. So whenever you're ready.
I made someone a promise, Hadrian. Can you assure me this data will be used for good?
Yes. It will be. Percival and I have done our damage. This is us starting to put some things right. So with the data out of the way, we've been discussing where exactly this work's getting done. The Red Devil's headquarters on Mars, back where you found Percival, seemed the natural spot. Already has the equipment, the safety measures. Though it sounded like the deputy had a few more things she needed to discuss with you first.
Indeed. The most important of which is getting you your citizenship.
Then I guess we'll see you on Mars.
Captain, if you'll follow me.
All right, Captain. Are you ready to become a citizen of the United Colonies?
I'm ready.
Good. This isn't the only item we need to discuss, so I'll give you the short version. Please raise your hand. Captain, through your actions today and in days past, you have earned your place among the United Colonies. Through service, bravery, strength, and upholding of the mutual good. Will you carry and cultivate these values for as long as you remain a citizen?
I will.
Then, Captain, I'm pleased to welcome you into the United Colonies as a full citizen. Here, your official ID and your citizenship dispensation.
We've also let the Aphelion Realty office out in the plaza know you're approved to purchase property.
Now,
I will not
the
be
other
buying
item
that.
we needed to discuss. There's a member of the UC who's asked to speak to you, but this person is in a sensitive position.
Normally, we wouldn't even consider something like this, but we think this person has information that could prove useful in dealing with the Terramorphs. And they've stated they'll only share it with you. They asked for you by name.
So I need your agreement that everything you're about to see is kept in the strictest confidence. You can tell no one. Can you agree to these terms?
I shall take it to my grave.
Let's hope it never comes to that. Head to the elevator. You're going to subsection 7. I'll make sure you're cleared for access by the time you get there.
Yep, and the property that they allow you to buy, do not buy it. It is a waste of 30k. You literally, it costs you 30,000 credits to buy this apartment, shall we say, and it is down in the well. Do not buy it. It is a waste of money. Continue on and finish the Vanguard faction questline, and you actually get given a penthouse at the end of it. It is bloody brilliant. So let us head on down to subsection 7, I believe she said.
Are we at all surprised that the UC has such a massive space dedicated to secrets?
Not really. You gonna let me in?
Logging authorized entry, unsealing access. You may proceed down the corridor. But there are no additional visitors permitted. Your friend's gonna have to wait out here.
Very well, I will wait. You go on.
See you in a minute, Andreja.
Welcome, Captain. Please, come down and approach the intercom. You and I should chat.
Yes, I think we should.
President Abeyo was kind enough to give me a few files to peruse. Quite the series of accomplishments you've managed. But now you face a foe unlike any other. An invisible enemy, lurking in the shadows. You're going to need all the help you can get. Which is why I hoped we could speak. Do you know who I am?
You look so familiar. Were you in a movie or something? I know it.
Not quite. I'm Francois Sanon. But most know me as Vivictus. I was an admiral during the Colony War. One of its great villains, if you believe the slates. I was to be executed for my crimes. But the previous regime deemed me too valuable to simply discard. So they put me here. A sacrifice on the altar of peace. Even my death served the colonies.
Sanon. That's Hadrian's last name.
Very astute. That's my daughter. My nature of our little family.
She told me that she's your clone, yes.
Did she? So willing to trust Hadrian. I never did succeed in driving that out of her. Our relationship has always been a challenging one. The Major was born to become a great leader, carry on the legacy I established, and was given all the finest training to support it. And she excelled. But the universe cut all that short. Now, though, it's placed even more crucial work in front of the two of you. And I think I have a part to play in helping you accomplish what you've set out to do.
Hadrian and I are doing just fine on our own.
I'd ask you at least hear me out. After some long years earning the trust of this current regime, the UC has been permitting me to work alongside one of their recovery teams, helping them gather intelligence on, locate, and organize scenarios to lure in some of the criminals that evaded justice after the colony war. With quite a few successes, I might add. But in the process, I managed to find something else. The names and locations of Hadrian and Percival's old research team. Valuable manpower for the effort you're about to embark on. I'll tell you where they are, but in exchange, I need something dealt with.
Go on.
There is a former colleague of mine, a man by the name of Dr. Reginald Orlays. Like myself and Hadrian, he was involved in some of the United Colony's more problematic lines of research. Mech weapons were his specialty. If it dealt death, he could make a deal more. When the colony war ended, he fled, refusing to face tribunal, and has continued to peddle his skills to the highest bidder to this day. But I finally found him. I want you to track him down and deal with him, however you're able. I'm not expecting he'll come quietly. Bring me evidence that the job's done, and I'll tell you what I know.
How about I arrest him and turn him over to the UC?
You can certainly try, but the man's been out there 20 years. He's likely gone feral by now. Easier for all if you simply blow up his ship and be done with it.
I'm not killing anyone, but if he's actually as bad as you claim, I'll consider bringing him to justice.
If that's what you require to sleep at night, so be it. According to my information, he's been hiding around the world of Etheria, Wolf System. There's a star station in the vicinity, the Den. The head of the local Vanguard, one Captain Marquez, should be able to help you find our man.
Okay then. Before we go and speak to Captain Marquez, let us go and speak to the deputy.
Identity verified. You may proceed to the exit.
Oh, deputy, we need to have a word.
Captain, did your meeting go well? I hope it's clear now why we needed you to agree to all the secrecy.
There's an executed war criminal in your basement.
Captain, please, keep your voice down.
The situation with the prisoner is a complex one. A holdover from a different era.
But it's a situation we've been managing as discreetly and humanely as we can for some time now. And the most critical part of that management is making sure no one else learns of it. Do I make myself clear?
You can't keep me from telling Hadrian.
Short of jailing you? No, you're right. But in this moment, I think it would be a big mistake to tell her. Though I presume he didn't call you down there simply to discuss his daughter.
The prisoner asked me to deal with a Dr. Orlays. Figure you and I should discuss.
Dr. Reginald Orlays? He's finally found him. Of course, killing Orlays is completely out of the question. But bringing him to justice... He's been on the lam for years. That'd be a huge win for the UC.
What's being offered in return?
The location of Hadrian's old research team members.
Really? He found the members of the research team.
We'd already initiated a search for them, but it'd save a lot of time and manpower if he just gave us that information. Captain, if that's the deal, you have my endorsement. Just so long as you make every effort to bring the man in alive. Now, was there anything else you wanted to discuss regarding your meeting?
No, didn't have anything else to discuss.
Then I'll bid you good day, Captain, and remind you of the importance of discretion.
Yep, and there is a very specific point where I will actually tell Hadrian it won't be straight away. So let's get on to the den. Right, Captain Marquez. Hello there.
Looking to lodge a complaint? Then you want UC security, not the Vanguard.
Actually, I'm with the Vanguard. Super et ultra, Captain.
Oh, apologies, Captain. Didn't recognize you without the uniform. So, what can I do for you?
Reginald Orlays. I heard you might know him.
Orlays? Doesn't ring a bell. Anything you can tell me about him?
I don't want to say much. It's a sensitive mission.
Suit yourself. Well, I can tell you there's no one on the den by that name. But there has been a rumor about a ship floating out around Etheria. Never docks, doesn't respond to hails. They call it the Warlock. Maybe this Orlays of yours is the one piloting it. I can give you the coordinates to its last sighted location if you want. Just, well, you'll need to be careful. That part of Etheria's sky is an old debris field. Plenty dangerous. More than a few scrappers heading out never came back.
I'll take those coordinates.
Sure thing. Here. This should get you pointed in the right direction. Go get your man.
Now, this fight against this ship can be very, very difficult. Let's hope I can actually do it this time. This is going to be interesting.
Endless boy, who is this you've brought me? More scrap for the field. Savor your last moments, Moat. All systems. Shoot them down.
Go for the engines. And we shall dock.
What are you? No, no. I will not die in a cage.
Docking complete.
Captain Wyatt.
Yeah, can you get out of the way?
I lost everything because of the UC. They will get no more.
Pilot emergency detected. Hatch override engaged.
Yep, get that door open.
Error. File deletion cannot be completed. Ending process.
It doesn't matter how you do this mission, it always ends the same. He will kill himself. Alright, I'm going to loot the entire ship. Unfortunately, you can't take the ship. It just keeps on saying this ship has been rendered inoperable. That you're not authorized to pilot the ship. So, I'm going to loot this entire ship, and I shall see you back in New Atlantis. Alright, let's go and speak to Victus and let him know the job is done. Oi, dickhead, it's done.
Welcome back, Captain. Do you have some news for me regarding Dr. Orlays?
I tried to bring him in, but he took his own life.
I'm not surprised. The man fled every consequence he ever faced. Of course, you don't expect me to just take you at your word, do you?
Got your evidence right here. Now I'm done working for you.
Excellent. Please, deposit it in the transfer system.
There you go.
Transfer accepted.
Would you look at that? Kept it all these years. Some simply couldn't let go of that old world. This is fine work, Captain. I can ensure the remaining team members find their way to the Red Devil's headquarters. Except for one. That one you'll need to collect yourself. His name is Kaiser. You can find him on the Freestar world of Nira, wandering the battlefield there. The area was ground zero for xeno-weapon deployments during the war, so I would arm yourself appropriately. And I think you'll want to check in with Hadrian and Dr. Walker before paying it a visit. Kaiser will likely have security protocols you'll need their help to overcome.
Thanks for the information.
Of course. We're protecting the galaxy, Captain. We'll need every tool at our disposal.
Alright then people, I am going to leave this one there for today. I don't know what we're going to be doing in the next episode, because from this point on, for the United Colonies, or the Vanguard questline, whichever one you want to know it as, it does get very difficult. I think there's a handful of missions left to do for this, and yeah, like Victor said, needs to be armed accordingly, and he is not joking on that either, because yeah, it's pretty difficult, these next few missions, especially for the level that we are. So we do need to get our levels up, do need to get our skill points put into other things, so we can either increase our weapon mods to make them do more damage, or just in general put skill points into damage skills. So for the next episode, I'm not too, like I said, not too entirely too sure what we are going to be doing. I mean, still got all that money can buy with Water Shroud by going to Neon. I may consider doing that. First to fight, first to die. We have to go and deal with a couple of the first cavalry, their ships. I'm hoping we will be able to take them out, so we could at least give that a try. Ryujin Industries, I'm actually going to wait until I get a couple skill points put into stealth and security, because they are going to be needed. And I did say in a previous episode that for Ryujin, I am going to literally set that out all back to back, one after another. So that probably be maybe a 3, maybe 4 part episode type thing. In miscellaneous, we have loose ends, which is talking to Nesha on Neon. First contact is down in Paradiso, which I think we're going to need to be a higher level, but we could at least maybe attempt that. Mantis, I won't be doing yet. Got to be dealing with level 30 enemies. I mean, it could be possible, but no. Nothing in missions. We have a fair few activities to do as well. These are literally just go here, do this, like investigate the brownouts in the well. That is literally just running around for like 10-15 minutes pushing buttons. Talk to the scientist at the tree. That is very simple. Just speak to him, go and collect, like, I think it's 3 things and go speak to him. Renee is a kid down in Sidonia. She just asked you to place posters around the place. Trevor is actually, we could do Trevor's quest. That could be interesting. Yeah, I think we'll do Trevor's quest. That do us a bit of time. And obviously whilst we're there, do Renee quickly run around, put up those items. And oh nice, we got to speak to Sergeant Yumi as well even. So we have a handful of things to do, so yeah, I think what we'll do is next episode we'll speak to Trevor, get that quest over and done with, and possibly do loose ends. But anyway people, thank you for joining me. My name has been Shadow, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day, the rest of your evening, wherever you are in the world, and I shall catch you in the next one. Bye bye.